What is leadership today? In the past, historically, we used to associate the concept of leadership with the concept of command. In the past, this made sense because there were actually very few people who decided and many who executed, often routine tasks. Today, things are different, they're changing very fast. The way we work and we collaborate has changed and is changing quite dramatically. So, leadership has a completely different type of context. Today, human beings work and collaborate in a different way. Anything that is an executional routine is often, most of the time, delegated or can be delegated to technology. So, increasingly more, the role of human people is to apply critical sense, to apply discretion, to choose between subjective different choices, to find ways to collaborate and communicate productively with others. Increasingly more, the type of tasks that are performed by human beings are of a type that were typically, traditionally in the past associated with skills and competencies assigned to the leaders. Discretion, critical thinking, decisions deciding between different types of options and involving others. Everybody today is interdependent. Most people are, at least. And this requires a different type of thinking about leadership. Many schools are offering courses about leadership, and still many are still attached to older types of interpretations of leadership. Many leadership courses involve also management tools. Now, intuitively, if you talk to people in business today, many would understand and realize or intuitively agree that management has more to do with things and processes, and leadership has more to do with people. But still, in many training programs, you mix up learning management tools with learning leadership competencies of interpersonal influence and relationships with others. Not often do we have a clarity about what we define as leadership when we engage into a leadership program. I am Laura Lozza. I have been into management, trained in management and in leadership for over 30 years. I am a consultant that designs and develops courses on leadership. I'm an executive coach as well. I am the founder of the Grooa Leadership Academy, and I am specifically interested in making sure that we always provide a clear understanding and definitions of the terminologies that we use. When we talk about leadership, we also offer our definition of leadership. This is how we see leadership. Leadership for me is anything about mobilizing other people. We want to mobilize others, we want to collaborate, we want to progress, we want to do something together. It has nothing to do with being invested with an external authority. It has nothing to do with being the boss or being the expert or being the dad or the mom or the local who knows better than international or whatever other forms of external investiture that you can imagine. Leadership is something personal, and it is something that allows us to work together. So the actual definition of this way of looking at leadership as mobilizing others is this. We define leadership as the ability to positively influence within a collaborative context in order to co-create meaningful progress. There are 5 aspects, 5 elements of this definition. the ability to positively influence within a collaborative context in order to co-create meaningful progress. The first element is that we substitute the traditional concept of guiding with the concept of influencing. A leader is no longer the one who feels the need or the obligation to always be in charge, to guide and command others. A leader is everyone who feels the responsibility to contribute and therefore does not hesitate to taking the lead, sharing opinions, encouraging, urging, challenging, driving, deciding, solving without holding back, while not assuming to be the only God in the room. So it is an aspect that involves our being conscious of this give and take necessity. I'm not going to hold back just to give space to you because I have things to contribute and I feel the responsibility to contribute. That's how I express my leadership. But I don't think that I'm the only one or the sole one who has and holds the total truth. I want to learn, I want to invite you, I want to encourage you to share and to participate into a common action, decision, whatever it is that we are doing together. So there is a concept of influencing which substitutes the concept of guiding. The second aspect of the definition is the concept of the positive influence. What do we mean by positive? We want to stress that anyone who feels the responsibility to contribute, choosing to take the lead and to influence, must be very clear about the motives, and the motives must be very consciously linked to the intention to create a best interest for the shared cause. So for leadership to be real leadership, we need to be aware of what we intend to do, which is not protecting ourselves, but making sure that we have the best interest of the common cause at heart. The third element is the collaborative context. It's important to define leadership in a certain context. We are talking about a collaborative context. So we are offering this definition of leadership within situations where people work together and are interrelated. We're not talking about leading with thoughts about writing independently and being philosophically alone, so to speak. We're talking about a collaborative context. Collaboration and interpersonal relationships today are so important, and they need to be re-evaluated. No longer influenced by the traditional top-down approach, but we need to learn to trust and to have adult-to-adult relationships. Trust replaces the controls that are fear-based, and the team performance replaces individual goals. This is the collaborative context as we see it in our definition of leadership. The fourth aspect is an essential aspect of emancipating humans from purely executional roles. It is the opportunity to unleash the human creativity in critical areas like problem solving and decision making. So we have the ability to create something from the initial opinions of everybody. I put A on the table, you put B on the table. If we try to find a compromise and select which one has the best merits, or if we find a compromise of some sort, we're probably losing the real opportunity of building from the diversity of ideas, from the enthusiasm and the perspectives and the intuitions and perspectives of different people. We have the opportunity today to benefit from diversity of ideas, to co-create something new from A and B. We can create C and D and E and create insights, intelligence, and move together in a very innovative way. Innovation is intrinsically linked to the concept of collaborative and participative leadership in our own definitions as we see it today and as we teach it. The fifth final aspect of leadership as we see it is the aspect of meaningful. Meaningful, when we say in order to create meaningful progress, what does it mean meaningful? We want to make sure that we give space to the area of individual's fulfillment and an engagement that can only derive from clearly seeing the meaningfulness of our own impact within the big picture. So we stress very much the aspect of aligning individual purpose to the global purpose. This is what we offer, our way of looking at leadership, our definition of leadership as the ability to positively influence within a collaborative context in order to co-create meaningful progress. I hope that you can follow us more in our sharing of different types of ideas around the concept of leadership in other videos.